Emotionally unavailable.
Welcome to Emotionally Unavailable, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of emotional availability and intimacy. I'm your host, Melissa Hepner, and I can't tell you how excited I am to have you join me on this journey of self-discovery and connection. Whether you're navigating the complexities of relationships or exploring your own emotional landscape, this podcast is here to inspire, empower, and entertain. So get cozy and let's explore the depths of human emotions together. Hi, my little loves. How are you? Happy Friday. I hope it's fabulous. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Okay. So today's guest is Dee Dee Lyons, and I'm going to just throw some shit together to give you a brief bio for Dee Dee. Dee Dee Lyons is a powerhouse founder of Feel Good Express lifestyle program, empowerment coach, speaker, and author who has cracked the code on self-love, manifestation, and divine guidance. After years of thriving in the corporate world, she discovered a life-changing secret. When you release limiting beliefs, collaborate with your guardian angels, and step into self-love, you can manifest miracles. Dee Dee's been featured on NBC's WPTV, Voice America, and Art Bodega magazine. And now she's ready to bring her wisdom to my audience. Dee Dee doesn't just talk about transformation, she lives it and teaches others how to do the same. You guys will walk away inspired, empowered, and ready to create the life you deserve. I loved her. She's so fun, and I love her talk about guardian angels. I just love it, and I love her story. I love what she's been through and overcome, and I don't know, we really connected. So, all right. Well, I guess I'll just leave it at that. Love you guys. Thanks for being here, and here's me and Dee Dee.
Emotionally unavailable.
Okay, we did it.
Oh my God, that's great.
I was like, why does it do it? Well, I had also forgotten to change ownership from one email account to another account. And I was like, cool, okay. Well, that's good that I did that.
Oh, it's great because Mercury's in retrograde. So
No, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, hey, this is not so bad for listen, I've had this podcast almost a year, and the old days of Mercury retrograde, until I learned to just flow with it, I cried a lot. But we're making it through. Okay.
And now you know.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I don't hear you. Is it because I'm not damn?
Oh, okay.
We're not going to use the mic because I don't feel like using the headphones. So,
Okay.
but
you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you fine. As someone
Great.
who, like me, kind of like you reached burnout, you were in kind of a period of darkness, you've done all this amazing stuff to find your light, and now you're sharing it with others.
Yeah, sort of like that. I mean, mine more was like a very rough childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And it took 10 years of therapy on the couch from 30 to 40 to learn to love myself.
And actually, did that happen around the same time as the career burnout?
No, you know what? I never got career burnout. I got more like, I'm hearing I'm going to burn out. Everybody's telling me you're going to burn out. So then that's when I started to find, like, chanting, meditating, journaling, anything I can get my hands out to prevent it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I also had a really extensive history of childhood trauma, and boy, in some ways, like, we did so good considering how limited the information we had was then, like, it's amazing what we know now versus then. Like, can you tell me when you first understood that your experiences were trauma? Because I didn't know that I had trauma until I was close to 40.
Yeah, I was 30 when I really felt it, because I went 30 years feeling unlovable, not loved. My mother just wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
So there was, alcoholism, manic depression, all this stuff going on in my household growing up. But when I turned 30, that's when it hit me. It was like, wait, you have a great job, you have lots of fun, you're attractive, you're fit, all these things looking at me externally. But internally, I had this hole in my heart So that's when I went to therapy. I said to the therapist, this is what I need to do. I spent the last 30 years not loving myself. And
Absolutely.
can I learn to do it at age?
Right.
And she said, yes, we're going to do it. So I'm thinking it's a couple of years, every Tuesday and Thursday on the couch from 6 to 7,
Yeah.
doing the Freudian stuff. And then I met my husband 4 years in. And then I ended up going till I was 40. And then I just went,
Wow.
okay. So then all along the way, I was picking up all these other
Sure.
tools, journaling to the angels and meditating and aromatherapy. Always have my aromatherapy.
Oh my gosh, I need to do more of that. I used to be super strict about it, and I haven't been. And I notice because I'm a Gemini, and smells mean a lot to me. So can I ask you something? Because you mentioned unlovable and invisible. Did you find in doing all this work on yourself that you had hurt your feelings so much all of these years because you were just trying to, was your expectation for the people around you to fill these holes that you had? Because that was my experience.
Yes, definitely. Leading up to going to therapy, I was attracting people, friends, boyfriends, didn't matter. That gave me crumbs because that's all I got growing up. So crumbs felt familiar. So that's what I was attracting.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they were great projects, right?
Right. I didn't even know I was doing it.
Me neither.
Yeah. And the therapist helped me, and I always call it the layer cake method. I started filling every layer of my cake up with love from me. I started mothering myself and nurturing. And then I was able to attract my husband, my soulmate. We've been together almost 40 years because I wasn't looking for him to fill me up. I wanted love, obviously,
right?
But not the kind that's maternal or something that you were lacking as a child.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I just, it's funny. You said fill yourself up, and I've had this thought over and over lately, probably because I'm about to do a speaking thing and I've been thinking of what I'm going to say. And, the difference now from even 6 months ago on this journey of self-love and filling yourself with so much love for yourself, the fear in that for me initially was that response from others, because people who are lacking that really are repelled a little bit by that light in you shining so brightly. When you get really comfortable with just being exactly who you are and not dimming your own light, the phrase "she's full of herself" came to my mind, and I was like, you're damn right I am. I'm no longer full of the expectations and weight of other, I'm not full of holes from childhood. I am full of the love that I have cultivated for myself. But having to become comfortable with speaking that. And that's been a journey for me because, one of the biggest weights I had to release was the expectations of others and the way people perceived me.
Yes, exactly. And I love how you said you had to stop dimming your light. And I wrote an article on that, on self-love, how it's not narcissistic. It's not being full of yourself. It's really just shining your light. And I remember reading this book by Marianne Williamson. I think it was A Woman's Worth. And she said, if we shine our lights, we give other people permission to shine theirs.
That's exactly right. I love that. And I always tell mostly my clients, but also just people I interact with, if you aren't being you, the people who need you and are looking for you can't find you. You're not attracting the right people because you're not being you. They're reflecting back that version of you that overthinks and believes that everyone's laughing at them, or whatever it is that we tell ourselves to keep ourselves small.
Yeah, I love that because it's so important. Be authentic. My words today were, and my words for the year actually are, authentic and knowing that I'm loved. But today I woke up and I went, what do I want this podcast to be like? Authentic and fun. So that's what comes up. You gotta have fun, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's what this show has helped me so much, because it in itself has been an evolution with me, because like in the beginning, I was afraid to be too serious. I was afraid, people don't want to hear that or whatever. I want to talk about topics in a lighthearted way. There's not a lot lighthearted about me. If the differentiation is serious topics or not serious topics, or the way that you discuss them, I have always preferred to connect on this level. The problem is I didn't know that. I also didn't know how scared of people I was. And I did not have a single clue about how emotionally unavailable I actually was. And that I was so afraid in real time to go to anyone with how I felt. Like I was always process. What I really mean by that is intellectualize my experience. And then once I got a handle on it, then I could maybe talk about it in the past tense or whatever. But I just didn't do a lot of in real time sharing. Whereas now I do every day. I get to do that very thing, just connecting with people like you. But like, I also wouldn't talk about kind of like deconstructing from religion, or even I didn't touch too much on astrology or the other woo-woo shit I'm into. I just didn't. I mean, I've always been willing to cuss, but like, just really digging down to the core of who I am. And as those things evolve and develop, getting to share them. But I was really dimming my own light, even in the beginning of this show, because I was so afraid that, well, because of my religious teaching, I didn't want anyone who still is in that world to think I'm a false prophet, B, somebody who's, borderline satanic and going to lead them straight to the pits of hell because I believe in these things. Now I'm like, baby, you can feel that way and that is fine. But like, this just isn't the show for you,
Right. Exactly. And I love that you said that, because I help people fall in love with themselves, connect to their gifts, their power, and then their guardian angel, so they can get help from the other side. So some people will say to me, so what do you do when somebody comes in and doesn't believe in angels, or doesn't believe in, connecting with deceased loved ones and unseen helpers? I go, I'm not attached. And most of the time the angels send me the people that are like easy peasy.
Thank you. And you know what? That is such a beautiful lesson too, that when you do surrender all that shit and you just let go and you just be you, the people that were meant for you the whole time come flooding in. I mean, I have only had a few people on this show that I didn't feel a deep connection with. And I put it out to the universe a long time ago, like, send me the people meant for this energy, who I get as much from them as they do from me, both as therapy clients, friends, people I'm just meeting on threads, like I'm maintaining so much contact with the people that I've had on the show, because I know they were meant to find me and I was meant to find them.
Exactly. People come in your path for a reason. And my mantra in the morning before I get out of bed is, angels, universe, deceased loved ones, please put in my path people and experiences for my highest good and their highest good. Yeah. And they come in, and here you are.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you this. Okay. I feel like, well, I'm still developing a spiritual practice, first of all. Like, I don't have any hard and fast, like, it sounds like you've got a really good spiritual hygiene. I'm still kind of developing that.
Right.
But so the reason I'm prefacing what I'm about to say with that is because I feel like I am somewhat connected. Like, I know I'm very aware that I have spirit guides. I've seen a medium a few times who really helped me. I'm sorry, I have like a hair stuck on my face and it's really bothering me. I went because I was finally not afraid to go. And it had been, so I lost my dad when I was 15 and my mom when I was 22. And it had been a very long time. And I've done a lot in my life. And I was like, I kind of just want to know if they're proud of me, just that little girl thing. So I went, and oh my God, it was amazing. And it was after that experience that I really opened my heart to that world. And that was when I was like, wait a second. That was after the first time. And I was like, I think my mom's on my spirit team. Like, I really, what I mean? Like, not my dad. I'm not saying he's not somewhere.
Right.
But like my mom, well, first of all, she was a Leo. I'm a Leo moon, and I have a son who's a Leo rising, and I feel this weird connection, but I started to feel that really strongly. And so I went back and I was like, can your dead relatives be on your spirit team? And he was like, well, there's usually like an ancestral link, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, your mom's on your spirit team. And I was like, that's why I was asking. Oh my God.
You
know?
felt it. That's it. That's what I say to people. You just feel it. And I love I watched a segment of a podcast where you were interviewed. I forget the name of the gentleman that was interviewing you. But I love that you said, I'm a Gemini. I love to talk. And and I got a perfect outlet
You're
for
like,
that.
yeah.
But what's really funny is my 3 really good friends are Geminis. So their birthdays are always, May, June. I'm a Sagittarius.
I was about to ask you, are you a Sag? Yeah.
Yeah, a
That
Sag.
makes sense. I have very close Sag friends too.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah.
great. So I always tell people this. When we go out, the 4 of us, I get a table for 7 because there's 2 of them. The Geminis, the double.
No, it's so true. It's so true. I have a Gemini daughter also, and she is my little mini me. And boy, it's very healing every time I allow her to just talk my fucking ear off, because I'm like, I wasn't given this, so I'm gonna sit. It drives me nuts. I'm not gonna pretend it doesn't. I'm not a saint, but like, every single time I sit and just listen to all the thoughts, because she wants me to know every assignment she had in class that day. It's bizarre, but like, she just wants to share her life with me. She's obsessed with me, and so like, even that part is healing for me. It touches this like in me that's like, you love me so much. Yes. Yeah, but it's funny because I'm like, this is me. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, that's me if I'd been allowed to, so I'm just gonna roll with it.
And it's funny, it made me laugh when you said, that's me, I'm going to roll with it. Because I have, okay, so there's the Dee side that's, fun, loving, spiritual, soft, nurturing, all this. Then I have this other side, we call it Big Linda.
Pure fire.
Well, yeah, well, she's very bold and she just says what she's got to say. And she also is extra frank. So when Big Linda comes out, and we named it because we had a friend, Linda, that was 6 feet tall, and she was very bold, that we knew years ago, Joe and I. So anyway, but what I do is I used to go, oh, I better put Big Linda away and go back to soft, nurturing, fun-loving, kind, compassionate. So then I realized, wait, that's part of me. So now, so my husband goes, how long is Big Linda going to be here? So
right.
He runs to Costco or Home Depot.
He's like, you're hurting my feelings a little bit there.
Yeah, owning all the parts of yourself.
That's been such a journey for me because I'm an Aries rising, and passive aggressive was kind of my middle name. Like I just had such a fear of confrontation, and I had been proven that anytime that I did what my fears it happened, and because of course I wasn't confronting appropriately either. I didn't really know how. But yeah, it's been really, it's funny that you said that. I love confirmations like this because that was actually the first time I was like accepting of myself whenever I did. Sorry, audience. I tell this story all the time. Episode 4 was a solo because, in those early days, you're just begging for guests. And, now I have a lot. But at the time, I was like, you want to be on? No? Okay. Well, so I did a solo. It was my first solo. And I called it Embracing My Fire because I had been future self journaling for at least 6 months by that point. Because my biggest shame that I carried was my reactivity to the world around me. And I mean everyone, every word that came out of someone's mouth all the time, every morning, every night, every day. And I'm not exaggerating. I was so reactive. And I thought that my goal, because in all this, in the self-journaling and the visualizations, I was picturing me some super soft, sweet, caring, blah, blah, blah person always. That was my only part of my identity.
Right.
And I had just gotten really good for standing up for myself. Like I was, and I mean, I wasn't doing it necessarily nicely or appropriately, but I didn't even care because it was the first time that I was like backing bullies up, like I was really having a lot of trouble with people at my old job. And I was like, whatever, I'm going to stand up for myself. And as I was driving, I was thinking, why am I trying so hard to only be this when I love my fire? Like, I just found it. I don't want to extinguish it. I want to embrace that. I already am all of the things I'm trying to be. And I'm this too. And I'm this too. It doesn't have to be or. I can be all of these things and decide when I am those things and be totally fine.
Exactly. And the big thing too for me was like what you were saying, how people are like being detached instead of attached to how people are responding to you. Like I was
Right.
helping this client just put herself first before her kids and her husband. Like that's because she always put them all first, right? And it was boundary issues and all that. So she comes back and she says, you know, my 13-year-old daughter goes, Mom, you're a narcissist. What happened? So I go to her, this is the best compliment you could get because that means you're putting yourself first. So don't take it as an insult. And she probably doesn't even know what narcissist is. She picked it up on social media.
Let's not play. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's big for me too. Also, but putting myself first, but it's not popular. I said, your husband's not going to like it. Your kids aren't going to like it. So sometimes for me, I have to really get cognizant and say, don't get attached to that person's response, your husband, your kids, whatever, because that throws you right off.
Well, yeah, because honestly, the reason we were afraid of the confrontation to begin with is their response, because we have this shame narrative that we've been programmed to believe, which says we have to put other people's comfort above ours. Yes. So when they do respond that way, we don't know what to do. Whereas what I learned is you just have to regulate before you enter the conversation and be prepared for the fact that they haven't reached your level of healing. They're going to feel abandoned. They're going to lash out. And that doesn't have shit to do with you. It's not about you. What you said was about you, and how they respond is about them. So we have to learn how to regulate in those conversations. And I'm now prepared for the response. I've never not gotten that. I've never not gotten a defensive response from someone, but it doesn't hurt me anymore because guess what? I do that shit too. Maybe I'm real good about not saying anything now and saying all the things I'm supposed to say when someone says something like that to me. But in my heart, I'm hurt. I got to lick some wounds. I got to process. So like, you know, I've now 2 adult children. When they talk shit to me, it hurts me. But like to them, they're just giving me some feedback that like, whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Some things aren't safe to talk about in front of them. They think the fact that I have a podcast is douchey, so I don't talk about my podcast with them. They get annoyed by the fact that astrology is basically my religion. I don't talk about it. But like, I'm also not going to stop doing those things because my damn grown kids are making fun of me. I don't give a shit. Like, okay,
exactly.
I just won't talk about it. Like, okay,
right. And they might be at that stage where absolutely you're clueless and they know it all.
They are very much at that stage, but also, and the oldest is 22, so it's changing some with him, but like they see me as a one-dimensional figure so far, you know, like I'm not human to them. I'm just their mom. And so that's fine. I don't care. But that took a little bit of thinking to get to where I was like, baby, why are you ever thinking this? Like what do they know? They don't know shit, you know, like what do they know? Literally nothing. Why do I care? But it's the same when someone else is coming at me. If I know they're not at the level of consciousness I am, why in the hell would I sit and like overthink about their response to me? I thought you would do that. And that is fine. I'm not mad at you. I'm not even going to be condescending about it. Like, okay, I hear that's your piece. Okay, yeah, I feel you on that. I'm not taking it home with me. You know?
That's great. So you know what I was going to do, if you're okay with it, like I'll have you pull an angel card.
Yep. Love it. Thank you.
Because this is for us today, Melissa.
Oh, I'm excited. I already feel the energy building.
Okay, so you're going to go right and left, and then we'll narrow it to the one you want. Right, left.
Just
right hand or left hand? Just pick a hand and then
pick a hand. Right.
Okay. And then we'll narrow it just again. And then if you see a card, go ahead, but I keep narrowing right and left. This is left. This is right.
Okay. I see the one that's sticking out of your left, like on the far end.
This one?
Mhm.
Perfect. Celebration. So this is all about celebrating you and everything you're doing and everything you've done.
I love
Like
it. And
this-
I love that the moon is there because I'm so connected to the moon.
Yeah, celebration. That's it. Just keep celebrating you and everything you've done. And
I
you're
love
just like
that.
this beautiful spirit, soul woman. Yep.
I love that. Yeah. No, what's funny is so I tell my clients all the time when we're talking about visualizations that my happy place whenever I want to change my energy, you're going to love this, is that I am in the sunlight when it's just like coming down, like it's sunset, but it's maybe halfway down and it's across the horizon. And I am standing there like this, basking in it. That's my happy place. So audience, the angel on the card had her arms up the same exact way.
Right, exactly. Huge celebration. And then she, like you said, she's got the moon, the stars, and she's
I love that.
so
That is
happy.
perfect. It's perfect.
That's you.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, so much of the last few months really has been realization after realization about like how like I can finally mean it when I say I'm enough. And, that I'm fully understanding finally that there really is no perfect at any of this. And I'm still going to make a lot of mistakes. I'm going to hurt people. I'm going to be mean sometimes. I'm going to be too direct. I'm going to be aloof. I'm going to hint instead of asking for what I need. Like those are all things I'm working on, but like, I'm never going to do it perfect. And I finally got it. Like it just clicked one day, that's one thing after another,
I love that you're saying that because I'll tell people that come to see me and tell myself too and my friends, you're complete. You're all like filled up with so much goodness and you're in the done column. Okay. So anything that happens from now on is just icing on your cake, the candles, more sparkles. That's it. But you are complete. And it's such a relief for them to start owning that. Like you are. It's like a relief. Like I'm done with so much and I've done so much.
Yes.
And now everything I do from now on is just going to make me feel better.
Right. Like I want to continue to reach different levels of consciousness, but like just at my own pace, like through conversations like this, where it's amazing how still every day I will have aha moments, but I don't ever want that to stop because I want to take less and less and less and less personally. I'm a human, so I'm still, I have that sometimes where I can be like,
of course.
the fuck? Why are you in such a bad mood or whatever, but I want to do it less and less.
Yes.
With the understanding there's no never in sight, but that when I do, I have the tools to look away and deal with it and then come back and deal with it and just do the things that I need to do to have this really happy existence.
Exactly. And you're doing it. And that's what this, celebration is about. That card is you've done so much, Melissa, with your life and they're so proud of you. And they want you to be as proud of yourself as they are of you.
You're going to make me cry.
Oh, good. I make everybody cry.
No, I mean, I think too, like, and you have the invisible wound, so you get it. But like it's not that I rely on any sort of validation from any realm, but like, as the kid who just felt so unseen and misunderstood as an adult even, and just like, I'm not trying to be this mean person that you are saying I am. I'm just trying to live and I don't know how and just figuring it all out, and
of course.
And I feel like you really have.
Yeah, you have. And are you familiar with inner child work? Actually, I know this is going to be audio, but I always keep
I'm posting on YouTube now.
Oh, okay. Good.
Oh my God. That's so cute. I have a picture that looks very similar to that.
So I keep it out and I make all my clients keep their photo visible so they can remember like that sparkle, that innocence before life started to happen and just take care of that inner child. So I always say your inner child rules the roost. So when things are going a little haywire, and my inner child, we call her Ayla, my husband named her from the girl in the clan and the cave bear, the bear I'm saying it wrong, with Daryl Hannah, the Clan and the Cave Bear. Anyway, she was bold and fun. Well, I guess, but just had a big spirit. But I guess with the inner child, I talk to her every day in the mirror. I do that Louise Hay mirror work,
Yeah.
and if I'm not giving her attention, because she wants to play, she wants to dance, she wants to be included, not excluded.
Right.
That's that helps Big Dee stay focused, because when little Dee or little Ayla's not getting enough attention, she'll knock things over.
Well, and the way that like comes out for me is I'll be like, ooh, I'm awful bitchy. Like what? Like I went through a stressful time around Thanksgiving with one of my kids, and after the time, like the crisis was over, I was like, okay, I handled it really. I was doing a little reflection. I was like, I'm really proud of how I handled that. But coming out of it, I'm still feeling bracing, contracted, tense. So what could I do differently the next time I have a crisis to come out of it feeling physically and emotionally a little more relaxed, instead of having to like make myself. And I just realized I had white knuckled my way through that, and that through that few week time frame, I was not intentional about joy, which is usually like get in the sun somehow, which I live in Oklahoma. So the winters are kind of, cloudy and overcast, but it's not as bad as other places. But like, I have to be very intentional about finding the sunlight, and there's only a little bit of it during the day in the winter. And I wasn't able to do that because I was like, in my room doing this. And I was like, okay, you got to do better about that. And you got to do better about playing indoor pickleball or something. Like I do childlike things to feed that part of me. And that is the part of me that needs to be seen the very most. Like that's what I've learned, is that my Leo moon ass requires sunlight and fun. Like, because I see myself then, and I don't need other people to see me whenever I'm like acknowledging what I need, and I go and I do it. And it's always just the best time. And it doesn't even matter. It could just be playing Farkle. Like, do you know Farkle? A little dice game.
Oh, okay.
I play this little dice game with my family. It could be that. It could be playing Uno, but anything.
Uno. I know
that
Uno.
Part of me alive, Yeah, I love Uno so much.
Yeah, that's a fun little game. Yeah, I love games and playing. And that was a big thing with my father as a growing up. He taught us, checkers, parcheesi, even chess. I was learning like when I was like, so he was big into games. I learned gin rummy, 5-card stud, blackjack. But I always loved a game, or jump rope, hula hoop, whatever, roller skates. It was always very athletic too.
Oh, really? You had it all, huh?
Well, that was what helped me with the lack of self-love. I was into overachieving, and
we're doing it all.
Yeah, exactly. Jogging in Central Park for 20 years, 6 miles, 3 times a week, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I loved it all. And thank God for squash, tennis, skiing, because that was big distractions for me from football. Yeah.
It's funny because obviously I had the overachiever vibe too, but like that looked very different for me than it did others, because it was, as long as I was good. Like because I was primarily raised by my grandma, a lot of back and forth with my parents when I was younger. And then from 8 on, they were still around, but they weren't raising us. So my grandma was a narcissist and just a very unhealed person.
Mm.
She programmed me to believe it was like my life's duty to let her know through my actions that I had an eternal debt of gratitude that I was willing to pay for her raising me, but also that I saw her as such a good person for raising me that I'm going to make sure she knows she deserves a good kid, because she raised 5 first of her own and then us 3. And wow. I was the only one for many, 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 many years with their shit together. Now, after I graduated from college, others on that side of the family, like my dad's family, I don't really count them because that's their own bag of shit. But like on my mom's side,
I was the first to graduate from college. And then I had a few after that, but like I was the shining star of the family, which also meant black sheep of the family by the time,
Right.
you know, because you can't like excel too much or else we got to squash you like a bug. But
Right.
I did, like, I graduated high school with like a 1.7. And it was fine because I was graduating high school. So like I was more like, as long as my behavior is perfect, I just have to behave. Like I got in a lot of trouble for talking in elementary. I'm sure you're surprised. And so like I worked on that. Like, oh, I can't get in any trouble from any adult ever. And everybody felt sorry for me as teachers because they knew like my dad died of an overdose when I was in high school. So like everyone always took it easy on me anyway. So like I didn't have to achieve academically to those standards. And I really didn't think I could. I thought I was dumb until I got out of that house, got a little more regulated, and then I could be successful in college.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so good. No, I love that you have this great podcast, and I'm, grateful to be here because what I wanted to do this year different was do a dose of Dee. Those are like mini 60-second podcasts, like one tip each week. And then I wanted to get on podcasts like yours and share how easy it is to connect to angels on the other side and how easy it is to fall in love with yourself. You don't have to be in therapy for 10 years on the couch. But I want to show
bonus,
people,
but yeah.
I really want to show people how to connect with their guardian angel and know, oh my God, it looks like a guardian angel just showed up on your wall.
Really?
That light.
Wow.
There's like a big light there. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I see it now. Wow.
Wow, it just came in. I'm getting chills. So connecting with your guardian angel, she's here. Right there.
No kidding. Hey, Mom. Well, so what are you, what are you cool with like talking about the process a little bit?
Oh yeah, I would love it.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me about it. Cause I mean, I would love to build this into more of my like spiritual hygiene that I'm working on.
Oh, great. Okay. So your guardian angel is someone that is aligned with you, your purpose, your happiness, your joy, all of that. And that guardian angel is totally yours from the minute you step out of the womb till the minute you step to the other side, or not the minute, but step to the other side. So they're yours. And I remember when I learned how to journal to the angels in 1997, I was always journaling to a whole group because I had I thought I had a lot of burdens. I can't give it to one angel.
Yeah, you were like, let me spread this out a bit. Let me spread it.
Right.
I feel you.
Yeah. So the angels, all right. So that guardian angel just hovers. She's hovering over there until you give them assignments. And people are like, what? Yeah, because it's free will. You have to ask for things. So your guardian angel is hovering going, oh, I wish Melissa would give me something to do.
Which I don't ever do that.
So I have all my clients make an angel to-do list. You have your to-do list, right? Go pick at school, go to the grocery store, the bank, do your podcast. That's your to-do list.
Yeah.
Your calendar. Your angels you give them things like, oh my God, my husband's depressed. I give him love, light, and, encouragement, but can you help him with that? Or my mother is really suffering with a lot of anxiety because she's going to have to take some radiation for her cancer, things that are like big, that you can be compassionate and kind to your mother, but can you fix her anxiety? No. So, or my son's not doing well in school and he's not as focused. So a couple of his subjects, he's failing. Can you help get him more focused? So those are the things on the angel to-do list. Or for you even, like, I just want to feel inner peace and be in this beautiful flow. Can you help with that? Yeah. So or a parking spot. Like I'll tell people, it's not just praying to your angel or God or Mother Teresa, Blessed Mother in church. All day, all week long, your guardian angel wants to get involved in everything you need because she or he is in charge of your purpose. So the way I do it, I help people do it, is once they start believing that, like, oh my God, I have a Guardian
Yeah,
angel?
which is a foreign concept to people. I get it, but I'm all in. I'm all in, Dee Dee.
So now you make the list and then you detach. Like, oh, or the other thing too I do is I have my guardian angel talk to your guardian angel. Melissa is looking for
I was
inner
going to
peace.
ask that. Yeah.
And can you just go talk to her angel? Or I go, my husband Joe, can you talk to Joe's angel for me? Because he seems a little off the path over there. That kind of thing. What you can, because there's so many things we can't do this alone. And that's what I say. So
Right.
there's a whole team. And like you said, your mother is coming in from the other side. So your mother and your guardian angel and some other deceased loved ones, there's a group, a team on the other side
Mm.
that's just for you.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that wholeheartedly. But I'm always like, my curious mind. I'm always like, how can you tell me who you are? Because I just want to know who you are. Okay, my very first psychic experience, my friend we went on a little girls' weekend, and we went to just this little, like, you walk in and can sign up to see a psychic, okay? And she did a blind reading for me, so drew a bunch of stuff for me without looking, which was nuts. It was all so spot on. It was unbelievable. Like, she drew something that ended up looking like deer antlers with a sun behind it. And I was like, oh, I've always felt like deer were my spirit animal. And I've gotten lots of confirmation of that since then, but also I've seen that exact picture a few times since then. And I had just written a book, and she was like, oh, are you writing a book? Things like that. But then after that, I went into this room for what was called a healing service, and the lady was just really extra. And I, at that time, was kind of reserved in like my experiences, and the energy was very like present. Like it was just a lot of chaotic energy.
Right.
And so I was kind of like, ooh, this is a little too much, too fast. But she was like, some of it felt like she was trying to get a rise out of me. So like, I didn't trust the process. So, but I didn't know what to believe and whatnot, but she was like, oh, you have Archangel Michael around you. I kind of believe it now, but like the way she presented everything was like, because she did a little bit of past life stuff, but also she was just so weird that it was like, it wasn't relatable at all. And so, but now with all the experiences that I've had after that, I'm like, oh, I think she knew what she was talking about. I think she did.
Archangel Michael, he's all about courage and protection. He is the leader of the archangels.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you got any feelings, Dee Dee? You feel like maybe there's some truth in that, or what you think?
Yeah, well, definitely, because I can feel it. You'll have to take a screenshot because your angel's been behind you the whole time.
What assignment should I give them? Come on, I don't know.
Oh, I would give him the assignment of inner peace, joy, also maybe soften your kids a little bit because they're
oh shit, bastards. Is this a good question? Sometimes I've been saying lately, like, but not to them, because I haven't thought about it to them, but more like the universe as a whole. But I am going to start addressing my spirit guides more personally. But I've been like, help me see this differently, please. Because I know my perception is what's creating a shitty reality in any given situation. And I just want to learn so that I can just move on from it. Like I'll feel the pain, I'll do whatever, but then I want to move on. So can you help me see this differently? Is that okay to ask them?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're familiar before I move on to this other topic, but journaling. Have you ever journaled? Because that's where I do most of my connecting. Some of it
not in this way. So I definitely, like, I haven't been journaling other than for shadow work prompts around new moons and full moons or a manifestation. I haven't really been journaling a lot. So that's a good practice then.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I'm going to send you a copy of my Feel Good journal.
I will love that.
Yeah, because I used to buy boxes of journals off the internet. And then my sister goes, you got to make a journal. And she's great. My sister, Monica, she worked for as a graphic artist in New York for Random House Books. But the journaling connects, because that's how I found out I was connecting. Because some people go, well, how do I know for sure if it's my guardian angel? I said, it really doesn't matter. It could be your higher self. It could
Yeah,
be your
just
mother.
believe
It
it.
could be Mother Teresa. It doesn't matter as long as it resonates. But my handwriting would change. I'd be like, whoa, and go really fast and hard to read back. So I knew I was getting like a channel that way.
And that's definitely happened to me, but I never put that together. So excellent. Okay.
Yeah. And
Good to
happens in
know.
the shower near water.
Oh, always.
Whisper.
Always in the shower. I always like, okay, how I even recognize, because I was getting a lot of spiritual downloads in the shower, but then whenever I would start this cleansing ritual of like breathing out and imagining black toxicity coming out of me into the steam,
Right.
I started to get this really cold breeze come through my back every time. And I was like, okay, I know that you're here and that is fine, but I do not want you to do that again. Please do not create. I don't like that feeling. I love the confirmation, but I believe you're here. I don't like that feeling. So don't do that. And it stopped. Like I haven't had that, but I had to say it because I was just like, I watched Mom, you let me watch too many scary movies as a kid. So please don't do that. Okay. But the first time, oh, you get the chills and you're like, okay. So you trying to tell me something? What is it? But yes, the shower is such a good place.
Yes, water. That's where they talk to us, through water. And you get whispers. And there's these 4 clairs that we all have. Clairvoyance, where we see on a higher level. Clairaudience, where we hear. Claircognizance, crystal clear knowing. And then, of course, clairsentience, where you just feel. Most us women are empathic. So we have to protect that gift because we can absorb other feelings.
Oh, yes.
That's how they communicate with us, because when we're vibrating over there in our clairs. So for me, it's claircognizance and clairaudient are my 2 main ones.
Me too.
Oh, there you go.
That's funny.
Yeah, the crystal clear knowing is so
This is-
fun. You just know.
Yes.
You have no
Yes.
scientific
You can't
proof.
explain it to anyone. I mean, that's why I love having these conversations with people who get it, because you get it. I don't have to explain anything. But
Right.
all of my life, I've come across people, like I used to work with a person and I was like, I don't trust them. And I can tell you right now that they are lying about everything they're saying. I have no proof, but I know everything coming out of their mouth is a lie. And I didn't need proof. Like I was fine with, I don't just get that feeling over anyone, you know? And there's been lots of times whenever I meet people and I've always been so aware of the energy that they're bringing with them.
You know who's phony and who's not.
Mhm.
Who's authentic. Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. But other people are like my husband used to be like, you're so negative. And I'm like, I don't want to be like, that's not, but like, I don't like the way that person feels. And I can't explain it to you any better than that.
Right. And that's why I have this, I have an oil called White Angelica. It's not mine. It's from Young Living. It blocks
Okay.
all negative energy coming in and out. And I order it for all my clients.
It's white what?
White Angelica.
Okay.
And it's by the Young Living account.
Okay.
You go into their website and you can get it. But I've been wearing this oil since 1998 when they opened. Yes. I don't
Wow.
go anywhere without it. And I just put like a little here in each wrist, and I'm
Yeah,
off
I
and
need to
running.
get that for my daughter too, because she
Oh,
takes
it's
out other
so
people's energy so
Right.
bad.
Yeah, and then I also have a little bit of a pink bubble technique. So I imagine this clear pink bubble around me. I picked it up, oh my God, 30 years ago from a Shakti Gawain. I found it on a website. But anyway, I go in protecting myself, knowing that somebody might be, especially like the holidays, right? So you're always going to have a couple of toxic relatives, right? So
Mhm.
you have to see them, Easter, Thanksgiving, Passover, whatever.
I'm
So
sorry.
what I do is I go in and just give them a lot of love and light and compassion, and intend for it to be fine, not to get pulled in to their vortex or their negative sphere or whatever you know people call it. But that's how I go in, like light, because light penetrates anything that's dark.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, that's good information too. What else you
Yeah,
got?
because sometimes you'll dread, oh, I'm going to Thanksgiving and I'm going to see.
Oh, I don't go. Yeah, I spend Thanksgiving alone, honestly, because it's gotten too toxic.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, you protect your boundaries, you protect your energy. Yes.
Yeah, I do, because because even at this new level of consciousness, I said to my husband this year, listen, I know where I went wrong in those relationships too. I know what I did wrong, but the problem is, even if I were to try to make amends for my part in those things,
Yeah.
it would fall on ears that are very unhealthy and toxic, and nothing on their end would change. And I don't want to be in that. I don't want to go on a holiday that's supposed to be about us loving and, sharing
Mhm.
time together and whatever, and just like staying separate and whatever, because that causes its own set of issues. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I would just rather not go. I don't want to be around it at all.
I have a lot of people that do that. They call it Friendsgiving, or I forget what they
Uh-huh.
get together with their friends instead
Yeah.
of their relatives. And I don't know if you ever heard Dr. Wayne Dyer. Heard of him. He wrote like a lot of books. Hay House. He passed.
I have heard, but not like a ton.
Okay, so what he says, what stays, he said so many amazing things, but he said that your friends are God's apology for your relatives.
Oh my God, I love that. It's so true. It's so true. Because, man, the people that have stuck through this transition in my life, they're my people, man. Like they
Hey,
get me.
yeah, so that you just so you know, I mean, I love my family and they're really good people, but I do know that sometimes it's hard to be around them. And I just go, okay, just send them light and compassion and love.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I do like, because the thing is that I talk about this a lot, that especially as women, we were programmed to socialize and connect with other women by talking shit or complaining, or a combination of both. And I have found that now in this new reality that is very harmful to my spirit to be around that. And I don't want to be, but I can get caught up in a little thought cycle about how I don't want to be around them because they're such negative people. But I'm over here being negative by even thinking about it, right? So like I have to stop myself even then, because that was the way I used to live my life all the time, was in my brain bitching about someone. And so I have to stop myself and be like, no, 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 no. We're not around them only out of a place of love for ourselves. So we send people away with love, with compassion, with peace in those things. Like, yeah, I want nothing bad for you. I want so much good for you. The
Yes.
love that I have for you will sustain anything, because it is the love I have for myself that I'm sharing with you, but not in the same space, because
Right.
you are toxic for my spirit. And I don't have to ever say that, but I will
Right.
know that and just send them off in love. I teach my
Yes.
clients that too. Like, there's a difference between fuck you, blah, 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 and out of love for myself, I understand this person isn't reciprocating. They're not giving me this, blah, blah, blah. I've done all the work, and yet they are still this. So for love for myself, I'm going to send them away in love, in peace, in joy. Like,
Exactly.
please go have a beautiful life. But at this time, it can't be with me.
Yes, exactly. And do you ever follow Mel Robbins and her podcasts? Anyway,
No, not too much. I've heard of her, and I bought the Audible and I've listened to a couple of chapters. The thing about Mel Robbins, for me, if I'm just being 100% honest, is I feel like well, she feels a little emotionally unavailable to me. Like, she's very like mindset and things that are like so good for us to think about and to whatever, but she doesn't spend a lot of time in her heart space. So it just bothers me.
yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I listen more, not to her whole podcast. She just puts those little clips that are 30 seconds, 60
Yes, the
seconds.
little shorts. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
short.
And I
On
like those.
Instagram.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So there's a few that I've seen. I go, oh, that resonates with me. Like, you don't have to, she had one that's something like this. You don't have to feel bad and apologize if your friends aren't keeping up with you. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you don't have to go and dim your light and go lower in your vibration to match up with somebody that you might have outgrown, because friends come in and out.
Right. And it was our attachment and our fear of loss that ever held us to the places that we were stuck in anyway.
Yes, exactly. No, that's
Yeah.
great. know that. And then another way I connect with the angels is in nature. That's where they spend a lot of time.
Okay.
My nature walks, oh, they're the best.
I've just started doing this. We went on a nature walk, me, my daughter, and my husband this past weekend, where we got to put our feet in water. Like there was this natural place that we found that led into the water, and we had been looking for it because my daughter and I are just water people, right? And I don't like to be submerged in water the way she does. I like my feet in the water.
Right.
So very warm, but my feet are in the water. And we did it. And oh, I just stood there in heaven. Like we were just, I took pictures of us. We were just like connecting and so in love with life and each other. Like this is new. This is a new practice for me that I learned, like to feed my inner child. But now to know like I'm connecting spiritually too when I do that. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because when you're in nature, you're just so present, so still. It's the most present I get in my nature walk. Yeah. I love, like, I have a friend, and I've been throwing this in a lot of podcasts. My friend Joe Goldberg, he told me about the wind walk, right? So I used to take my phone with me on my walk. I do these 45-minute walks, maybe 4 or 5 times a week. And I would take my phone. Oh, I could catch up with this one, catch up with that. Now, if I do take my phone, it's on off, and it's just for taking a picture of a butterfly or a turtle. But you listen to the wind. So sometimes the wind is really soft. Sometimes it's on your face. Sometimes it's on your back. Sometimes it's going all, but listening to it, then all of a sudden you're listening to the wind, and then you start hearing these bird sounds, the little ruffles in the leaves. It's amazing. So that's how I feel as I'm going on my wind walk.
You know what's hilarious is I think it may have been that day. I don't want to misspeak. I don't remember what day it was, but I walked out front for just a minute and I said, what is that? Because it was not a noise that I was used to hearing. And my daughter said, oh, it's a bird. And I looked and I looked and I looked forever. And I finally found it was not that far from me. And I knew it wasn't because of the sound and how loud it was. Oh, I was like, I think that bird's talking to me. Like, like I was just sitting there staring at it, and I was like, okay, well, you know, I don't necessarily understand what you're saying. So, thank you though. Maybe you're just letting me know like people are present and I'm supported.
Yeah. And when you have that, Melissa, think about what you just thought about, because when a bird or a butterfly or a turtle shows up, what was I just thinking about? So at that time when they came in. So
okay.
They use sometimes validation about a thought or a space.
That's what I've been doing with angel numbers. So I will try to remember. Listen, in the last like 7-8 months, I get like, I will see, the ones are new for me in the last few months. I'm seeing a lot of 111 and 1111 that I didn't used to see at all. But I usually will catch like a lot of them in any given day. I will see all of them, like 111, 222, 33, like on the clock. I also, my birthday is 6/16. I see that a lot. That started about a year ago. I see it twice a day on the clock, or I'll be driving somewhere.
To the angels, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I'm always like,
you're already connected.
Yes.
You're already connected. So all I would, if you were working with me, I would just say, Melissa, just keep doing what you're doing and just have a heightened awareness of your guardian angel and give her a list.
Yeah, wow. I'm excited to give my angel a list.
And then it happened.
Me, babe.
I had one client say, she's a realtor, and she had these so cranky clients, and they were making her feel like she wasn't a good realtor, and it was their first time selling their house. And anyway, and she was absorbing a lot of it. So I said, well, you're going to ask your angels to talk to their angels to soften them, and you're going to detach, because you know you're a really great realtor. You can't let one couple, ruin your week. So the next day she texted me. She said, oh my God, Dee Dee, they are so happy with me, and the house closed. And it was just like one good thing after the next, because she detached from it and said, you guys take care of it.
Yes, I love that. And just for the audience, this is what we mean when we say detaching from outcomes, is that you aren't attached to any of their opinions or ideals about you or expectations, that you understand that no matter what is happening external of you, internal, you are worthy, you are valuable. Nothing about you changes from any circumstance you're in. Like nothing about your value changes.
Yeah, and detaching from outcomes is really hard. I remember telling somebody that once, and I was in sales and marketing, and I was very into the outcomes, right?
Right.
So, I go, I'm detached from outcomes. It sounds like I'm so up here. But the reason I like it so much is that this that you want or something better can come in. Because sometimes we say we want that house, we want that client, we want that boyfriend, whatever it is we want. But if you detach, ask for it, but then if you detach, they know what's best for you. So something better could come in than what you thought you needed or wanted.
Absolutely. When we bought this house, my father-in-law said, the only advice I'm going to give you is don't fall in love with a house. Don't get so attached to a house that you're going to bend over backwards to get it, because something better will come along. And so we did that. We were like, good advice. And two of them that we loved were new builds, but they would not build a fence for us, like for free. They wouldn't include it. And I was like, yeah, I get it. I really do. But also I've got dogs and a small child. I'm not going to not have a fence, and I'm not paying for it when I just spent this much money on a house. And I walked away from two houses that we really loved. And there was a third that we loved first, but we walked away from that early on. And then we finally gave this house a chance to go view it in person, because I had seen the pictures online and it didn't do it justice at all. But it wasn't a new build, but it was a flip. So it felt brand new, because I wanted to not have to go in and do all the things I'd been doing to my old house for all those years. I had more than enough space, far more than any of the houses we were looking at, for like $30,000 less. And we had a fence. Like there was all of these things. And I was like, oh, that was such a good lesson. And that was my first step into better will come. So just chill.
Yeah, that's great that you can do that. That's a gift.
I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. For most things, I'm really good at it. I'm pretty good at, if it doesn't go my way, I know that there was a lesson to be learned or whatever. There are some things that I'm still like, I must be doing something wrong. But I'm just working on all of it, because I know that my timeline isn't really important. Like, the things I want on my timeline, there is a bigger timeline at play, and I'm just kind of
divine timing. It's really so different from our timing. Right?
It is. I wish it was a little more aligned. Like I thought that I would have found a way. I'm coming up on the 1 year anniversary of this podcast. I thought I'd find a way to monetize it by then. I haven't, and that's okay. I'm closer now, much closer. But no amount of money could have ever replaced the feeling that this show gives me.
Exactly. And that's where you can have your abundance angels or guardian angel or abundance, because this woman I follow, Lorna Byrne, she's a Irish mystic. She lives in Ireland, but anyway, she's amazing. And I went to a couple of her seminars, webinars, online at the Omega Center. And she wrote a book, Angels in My Hair, but she didn't write it because she was dyslexic, and she still is, and she never learned to read and write. So she was growing up in Dublin, and they thought years ago, she's in her 60s now, that she was, retarded or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she dictates all her books.
I love that.
Lorna Byrne, she's great. So what I love about her is she taught me a lot about how to connect to the guardian angels and not get caught up if you don't know their name. The other thing she says is there's so many unemployed angels out there. So please hire them.
Yeah.
It just makes you think, wow, there's so many. So you got your guardian angel, you got the archangels, you got the unemployed angels.
Yeah.
Whole teams out there for us of unseen helpers. And I have another friend, it makes me laugh. She says, most of my friends are on the other side. That helped me.
God, I relate to that. I relate to that so much.
Yeah.
Well, Dee Dee, I have loved having you on. Thank you so much. This was I'm so grateful for this conversation. Literally, like you just brought so much. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. It was just such a treat, such a joy. And I just loved our connection and the synergy.
Me too. I'd love to stay connected.
Absolutely. And I'll text you later to get your address because I do want to send you my Feel Good journal.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I absolutely. I want it. I will use it, and I'll also maintain contact to let you know when this will air and what all platforms.
Yes, I love it. And I want to know, just let people know that you can find me at feelgoodexpress.com, Dee Dee at Feel Good Express, and then on Instagram, I'm Dee Dee Feels Good. But the first 5 people that email me at Dee Dee at feelgoodexpress.com I'll send them a really special gift that has to do with abundance.
How exciting! Can I email you about it?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, awesome. I'm so excited. Seriously, let's stay connected. I just think there's really beautiful work we could do together in the future.
Yes, I would love it.
We'll have
Okay.
I think today's Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday.
Terrific Tuesday. You got it. And keep celebrating you.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go tell this angel what to do now. Bye.
Hey, make sure you've given the show a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening to if you haven't already. And check out my website, empoweredwithmelissahepner.org, or my link tree on Instagram at melissa.hepner to check out my latest offers or workshops.
Emotionally unavailable. Emotionally unavailable.
INDEPE and cut.